Good afternoon, friends. It's Miss Martin. Hi. Hope you're all staying safe, not touching people, washing your hands. Love you guys so much. Okay, today I want to talk to you about dividing with fractions. So, obviously there's two ways to do it. Sometimes you have a whole number. And you're going to divide it by a fraction. Or sometimes you might have a fraction and you might divide it into pieces by a whole number. Okay? I'm going to show you how to do both. And I want to show you with a model why it works this way. So, think if you have 3 holes, right? 3 chocolate bars. So I'm going to draw my 3 chocolate bars. 1, 2, 3. There's my 3 chocolate bars. And think of division as cutting something into pieces, right? Well, 3 divided by 1/2, that means I'm going to take these 3 chocolate bars and I'm going to cut them into half-size pieces, right? So, I get another color, and that would look something like this. Right? There's half-size pieces, half-size pieces, half-size pieces. Well, then the question that we're answering is, how many half-size pieces are there? How many pieces did I cut it into? Well, if I count them, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 pieces. What you can notice is I can change this math with a strategy that I like to call keep, change, flip. Okay? We call it KCF. Keep, change, flip. So what means is that when I have 3 divided by 1/2, 3 divided by 1/2, I'm going to keep the first one, 3. Sometimes if it's helpful, you can always turn your whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1, right? 3 wholes, right? So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to change the sign to multiplication, okay? You change the sign. And then with the last fraction, or the second number, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be a fraction because we're going to see that it's not a fraction in our second case. But with whatever the second one is, we're going to flip it. So watch me flip 1/2 into 2 wholes. Okay? And if I just multiply this, well, we know that numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. I'm going to have 3 times 2, which is 6. And 1 times 1, which is 1. So 3 divided by 1/2 is the same as 3 wholes times 2 wholes, which equals 6 wholes, or we know that that just equals the whole number 6. And we know that because in our picture, we also ended up with 6 pieces, right? Because when you're cutting things into pieces, you're going to end up, when you're cutting big holes into smaller pieces, you're going to end up with more pieces. That just makes sense. So let's take a look at this second one. This is telling me that I started with half of something. Okay, so if I only had 1 chocolate bar, well, I cut it in half already. And this part is gone. Gone, gone, gone. So I only have a half. Well, remember we think of division as cutting something into 4 pieces or sharing it equally among 4 people. Well, that means I need to take this half that I started with and I need to cut it into 4 pieces. Wow. Super easy. Do. Okay? Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, but what size are those 4 pieces? That's the question that we want to know. How big are those 4 pieces if I started with just one big piece that was a half? Well, that means that if this was 1, half, and then I cut it into fours, well, that means that I could also say I'm timesing it by 1/4. And there's that keep change flips I'm going to show you in a minute, but if I cut halves into fourths, well, that's going to be 1/8, right? If these go all the way down, now the total number of pieces is 8 instead of 2. Now I have eighths. 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. That's how big those pieces are. So what we're really saying is, if you have 1/2 and you're dividing it by 4 wholes, or 4 people, or 4 friends, right? We're going to use keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction. So 1/2 stays the same. Then I'm going to change my sign from division to multiplication. And then I'm going to take 4 wholes, right? In my brain, I know that 4 as a whole number is 4/1. And I need to flip it. So we need to flip 4 wholes. Well, if I flip it, I'm going to put the 1 on top now and the 4 on the bottom. So what I'm saying is 1/2 divided by 4 wholes is the same as doing 1/2 times 1/4. And again, we're going to do that thing where we do numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 4 is 8. So just like in our picture, when we ended up with 8 pieces, but we're only going to use the pieces from the top half, we can see that our pieces down here should be 1/8, and that the math also says the same thing. That is how we divide with fractions using the strategy keep, change, flip. That's why it works. There's a picture about why it works. Here's an example of how it works, and I've also set you another video to show you how to divide with fractions. So in your dividing fractions packet, there's a front page that's a guide also to how to do this. Another example, there's 3 try this examples that you can start with. And then when you open your packet to the next page, you're going to see the share and show and the on my own with a couple of word problems. And make sure, because when you're reading word problems with dividing, make sure you're paying attention to what that person starts with. Are they starting with 3 wholes? Or are they starting with a fraction of a whole? Okay, because just like in subtraction, when you're dividing, the order does matter. Okay? So, please email me if you have any questions. I hope you're all being safe. This is a little bit of my house. Yes, if you have any questions, please let me know. And I hope this helped. All right, love you guys. See you tomorrow.